Blessed Advent, everyone! In the first chapter of Fratelli, Tutti of Pope Francis, he described our present condition as dark clouds over a closed world, leaving injured people by the roadside, cast out and discarded. On the second chapter, a stranger on the road was introduced, representing the injured, cast aside, and discarded. When we come upon an injured stranger on the road, according to the Holy Father, we can assume one of two attitudes. First, we can pass by, or second, we can stop to help. The type of neighbor we are will be determined by whether we include or exclude the injured stranger. What kind of a neighbor are we? I'm happy that yesterday Father Ray Raluto widened our perspective of who is our neighbor to include the rest of God's creation, not just fellow human beings, when he talked about silingan and kapitbahay. Furthermore, to love our neighbor in our present context is also to work for climate justice. As in the parable of the Good Samaritan, it also includes making sure that the road will be safer for strangers to pass by. Today, we now understand chapter 3 of Fratelli Tutti, which is about envisaging and engendering an open world. If we recognize and accept there are dark clouds over our closed world, we now envision and do our part together to give birth to an open world. God is universal love. And as long as we are part of that love and share in it, we are called to universal fraternity, which is open to all. No others, no them, only us. We want together with God and in God an open world. This is what chapter 3 is all about. A world without walls, borders, people rejected, and strangers. To achieve this world, we must have an open heart, which is more treated in chapter 4. We need to experience social friendship, seek what is morally good, and practice a social ethic as part of a universal fraternity. This is precisely what St. Francis discovered that fateful day when he stripped himself naked and said, "Now I can truly say the Our Father." If we are all children of one Father, we are then all brothers and sisters. As human beings, we can live, develop, and find fulfillment only in the sincere gift of ourselves to others. We cannot fully know ourselves apart from an encounter with other persons. No one can experience the value of living without having real faces to love. The greatest danger lies in failing to love. Love is more than just benevolent actions. These have their source in a union that is directed towards others, considering them of value, worthy, pleasing, and beautiful beyond their physical or moral appearance. Only this way of relating to one another makes a social friendship possible that excludes no one and a fraternity that is open to all, meaning inclusive. Here we see the seeds of a vocation to form a community composed of brothers and sisters who accept and care for one another. This universal openness has to do with our daily efforts to expand our circle of friends, to reach out toward the margins, to include those whom I do not naturally consider a part of my circle of interests, even though they are close to me. Every brother or sister in need, when abandoned or ignored by the society in which I live, becomes an existential foreigner. There are persons who are treated as hidden exiles, persons with disabilities who feel that they exist without belonging and without participating. They may be citizens with full rights, yet they are treated like foreigners in their own country. So who are these hidden exiles in our life, in our communities? A love capable of transcending borders is the basis of social friendship, the condition of possibility for universal openness. The future is not monochrome. Our human family needs to learn to live together in harmony and peace without having to be all exactly alike. Social groups that exclude any outside presence that disturbs their identity and style of life, thereby also exclude the possibility of becoming neighbors, they can only be considered associates, partners in the pursuit of particular interests. Fraternity is not born only of a climate of respect for individual liberties, or even of a certain administratively guaranteed equality. Nor is it achieved by an abstract proclamation that all men and women are equal. Instead, it is the result of conscious and careful cultivation of fraternity. Social friendship and universal fraternity necessarily call for an acknowledgement of the worth of every human person. Every human being is valuable and has the right to live with dignity and to achieve integral development. To achieve these ideals, Pope Francis calls us to do what is good for ourselves and for the whole human family, and thus to advance together towards an authentic and integral growth. He calls us to solidarity, to thinking and acting in terms of community. Solidarity means giving the lives of all, of everyone, priority over the appropriation of goods by a few. It means combating the structural causes of poverty and inequality, remedying the lack of work, land, and housing, struggling against the denial of social and labor rights. All other rights having to do with the goods necessary for the integral fulfillment of persons, including that of private property or any other type of property, should in no way hinder these rights, but should actively facilitate their fulfillment. No one can remain excluded. Development must ensure human rights, personal and social, economic and political, including the rights of nations and of peoples. Business activity should always be clearly directed to the development of others and to eliminating poverty. We will have peace only when we are able to provide land, housing, and work for all. Real and lasting peace will be possible only on the basis of a global ethic of solidarity and cooperation in the service of the whole human family. So therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, Pope Francis in this beautiful letter, Fratelli Tutti, has the key, has the way for us to attain lasting peace in our land, especially here in our island of Negros. Thank you.